Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Ram. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा, कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Let's recite Bhagavad Gita shloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 13, text 21. If anyone needs to go first, please raise your hands. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
कार्यकरण कर्तृव्ये हेतु प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषा सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वा हेतुरुच्यते. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various suffering and enjoyment in this world. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
कार्य कारण कर्तृत्वे हेतुः प्रकृति उच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Meda.
कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे हेतुप्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुखदुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Go ahead,
All
Mataji.
glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji.
Karyakarana kartritve hetu prakritiruchyate purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktrve heturuchyate. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Saujanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Karya कर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृतिर् उच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll go in order now. Arunita. Isha.
कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे हेतुप्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुखदुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Krishnashish.
कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे हेतुप्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Yeah. Madhava.
कर्तृत्वे हेतुप्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुखदुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Rasapriya. Right. In this world. Okay. Yeah. So next. Oh, you're not able to hear? You didn't hear Rasapriya? Isha? Okay, so go ahead again. Yes, Isha.
Sorry, that was our mistake.
Oh, that was by mistake, so you could hear. Okay. All right. So next, Narsimha Leela Chaitanya Prabhu. So, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे हेतुप्रकृतेः उच्यते पुरुषः सुखदुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Translation by student Mrs. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various suffering and enjoyments in the world.
Yes.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Other sir.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prajna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Karyakarana kartirthe hetu prakritir uchyate purusha sukadunkanam prakrifte hetur uchyati. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Arunita.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
कार्यकारण कर्तव्य हेतु हेता प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Hare Krishna. Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji, can you recite for me?
Yes, please repeat. Karyakarana kartritve.
Karyakarana kartritve.
Hetu prakritiruchyate.
Hetu prakrutir uchyate.
Purushaha sukha dukkhanam.
Purushaha sukha dukkhanam.
Bhoktritve heturuchyate.
Bhoktritve hetur uchyate. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various suffering and enjoyments in this world.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So anyone else? Did everyone recite? I'll recite also. Bhagavad Gita chapter 13 text 21. Karyakarana kartritve hetuhu prakritiruchyate purushaha sukha dukkhanam bhoktritve heturuchyate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Okay, so let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 21, the dynasty of Bharat Maharaj. And we just read about the prayer offered by Rantidev when he saw the Chandala asking for his last, whatever water that Rantidev had. A Chandala came and he was so thirsty, he was begging for water. And Rantidev was feeling so compassionate towards that Chandala. And he prayed that by giving his water to this Chandala, whose life would be saved by that water. He actually, first of all, he said that he does not pray to the Supreme Lord for any, he does not pray to the Supreme Lord for any, for liberation, for the Siddhis, and what to speak of, going to heavenly planets or anything. His only desire is to stay here amongst the suffering souls and suffer whatever they are supposed to suffer for them, so that they can all be liberated. And then he said, by giving this water to this Chandala, whose life will be saved by this water, he will become free from hunger, thirst, moroseness, illusion, fatigue, whatever else. All, because he was on the verge of death himself. But he was so kind that he said that by giving his water to this person, he would become free from all sufferings. He wouldn't experience any hunger or thirst or any other problems. So this was like, it was like the last test, and he had passed it so gloriously. So then, actually, all these four, the Brahmana, the Shudra, the man with dogs, and the Chandala, they were all demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, who had come to test Rantidev. So when Rantidev showed his magnanimity, they actually revealed themselves to Rantidev. And these demigods, who are they? They are such great demigods that they are capable of fulfilling the desires of a materially anxious person. Right? Any person who worships the demigods to get some material results, these demigods are capable of giving. Such powerful demigods were now standing in front of Rantidev. And what did Rantidev do? You remember? When he saw the demigods, what did he do? Who remembers? What did Rantidev do when the demigods manifested themselves in front of, revealed their identities in front of Rantidev?
He paid obeisances, I mean, respect.
Yes, correct. And he paid respects, but where was his attention?
On Vasudeva, on lotus feet of Vasudeva.
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much. Yes. So he didn't have to ask anything from the demigods. Not that, oh, here are the demigods who can give so many things. He didn't need anything from the demigods. He simply focused his attention on the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, Vasudev, who's all pervading. But at the same time, he offered obeisances to the demigods when they appeared. Text 16. King Rantidev had no ambition to enjoy material benefits from the demigods. He offered them obeisances, but because he was factually attached to Lord Vishnu Vasudev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he fixed his mind at Lord Vishnu's lotus feet. Text 17. So, Swarnangi Shama Mataji is supposed to read. If Mataji is not there, then Nilambari Radha Mataji will read. ईश्वरालम्बनं चित्तं कुर्वतोऽनन्यराधसः मायागुणमयी राजन् स्वप्नवत् प्रत्यलीयता.
Not there.
Nilambari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
O Maharaj Parikshit, because King Rantideva was a pure devotee, always Krishna conscious and free from all material desires. The Lord's illusory energy, Maya, could not exhibit herself before him. On the contrary, for him, Maya entirely vanished and exactly like a dream. Thank you, Mother.
Thank you. So, Sukadev Goswami is telling Parishit Maharaj what happened. Because King Rantidev was a pure devotee. So, from the symptoms, we already saw that he is a pure devotee. Do you remember what is the symptom by which you said he's a pure devotee? There are several things there, not just one statement. Any one thing that you remember which shows that he's a pure devotee? I can think of at least two, just on top of my head. From
He
what we read about it.
He always feels that every living entity is Krishna is there, right?
Very good, Mataji, very nice. In every living entity, he is seeing Krishna. He is seeing every living entity as connected to Krishna. Therefore, he is giving everything to them. Very nice. 1 point. 2 more points are there that I can think of. Usha Mataji.
He's thinking of the Lord at all the times, Mataji.
Is it not the same as what Mataji said? He's thinking of the. Oh, like this. Correct, correct. When the demigods appear, because he's attached to Lord Vasudev. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I mean, Mataji. Because he's not only seeing, but he in his mind he's thinking of Lord all the time. And like even when the demigods came, he thinks like they're like the servants of the Lord, but they are not the supreme. So he's thinking like when you say Ananya Bhakti, like when we're constantly thinking of the Lord, that's what I mean.
Excellent. Yes, very nice point. So he's constantly thinking about the Lord, and Ananya Bhakta, he doesn't look at anyone else. He's only looking at his Lord. Yesterday we were discussing about the Chataka bird, right? He was only looking at the autumnal rain, not the water on the ground. So even though the demigods are there, he can get so many things. He doesn't get distracted. He's always, his focus, his attention is continuously, there's no distraction, continuously on the Supreme Lord. Very nice point. So 2 points from which we can say that he's a pure devotee. He's Ananya Bhakta, and Nilamri Radha Mataji said that he's seeing the Supreme Lord in every living entity. And Usha Mataji said that at all times, continuously, he's always meditating on the Supreme Lord. Very nice. Any other points? I still have 2 points.
Mataji, he did not endeavor to, to get anything, to earn anything. He would, whatever he will get, he will enjoy that or he will take that.
Exactly. Very nice. That was one of my points. He didn't endeavor to earn his livelihood or, what will happen to my future? How will my family be maintained? Nothing. He never made any attempts to maintain his livelihood. He's completely dependent on the Supreme Lord. Whatever whatever comes by the Lord's arrangement, he'll accept. For himself, he doesn't worry. This is a sign. How do we know this? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. Because this devotee, he doesn't worry about his maintenance. This is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on this verse. Because this devotee doesn't worry about his maintenance, he is simply absorbed in Krishna. He doesn't worry about his maintenance. The Lord personally takes responsibility to maintain him. Now you may question then why he was starving Mataji. That we already saw. That is the demigods testing him only to ultimately glorify him. But Krishna maintains his devotees. Okay, very nice. 3 points. He didn't endeavor.
That is the reason he survived without food for 42 days.
Exactly, 48 days. Yes, he survived because he was completely dependent on the Lord, and the Lord was protecting him and maintaining him. Very nice. Mataji, Saujanya Mataji.
Mataji, a pure devotee always thinks how he can help to bring other people out of this suffering.
Very nice. Excellent point. He sees that whenever he sees the suffering of any conditioned soul, he sees it as just like, if you see, for example, an insect drowning in water, you would immediately think, if you're a pure devotee, if I am drowning, how much suffering it gives me. So he's able to relate to the pain of that living entity, any living entity, any human being. Just like that Chandala is begging for water, Rantidev himself knows what is the pain of thirst. He's on the verge of death himself, but he's not thinking about his pain. He's able to feel the pain of others because he's able to see it in relation. So he sees the pain of others as his own pain. This is a sign of Mahabhagavad. Not only is he seeing the Supreme Lord in everything, that is a sign of Mahabhagavad, but he also sees the pain of all living entities as his own pain. That's why he's so kind. Yes. I think that was my second point also. I had 2 points. I think that was my second point. Seeing the pain of all living entities as his. One more point actually. Related to this, I'll just add that because I don't think anyone is raising their hands. It's related to the same point. What was Rantidev's prayer? He said, I don't want liberation. Ananya Bhakti again, right? I don't want liberation. I don't want mystic yogic siddhis. I want to stay here and I want to take the suffering. I want to suffer for all these people so that they can. That means again it's related to what Saujanya Mataji said. Because he cannot bear to see the suffering of others. He wants to relieve others from their pain. And for that, he is willing to go through the pain himself. So all these points, right? We can even note down these points. First thing is he's seeing the Lord in every living entity. That's why he is giving everything to them, because he's seeing the Lord in everyone. Second thing is he's seeing the Lord at all times continuously. Not for one moment his meditation is going away from the Lord. And also Ananya, he's focused only on the Lord, not on others, demigods or anyone else. No, only the Lord. Then third, he does not make any endeavor for his maintenance. Whatever comes by naturally, whatever comes on its own accord, he'll accept. If nothing comes, he'll just starve, right? So he doesn't make any endeavor for his own maintenance. Then he sees the pain of others as his own pain. Okay, he sees the pain of others as his own pain, and because of this, he's not able to tolerate the pain of others, and he's willing to undergo any extent, any amount of pain to relieve others from their pain. So he's saying, let them all be liberated. I will suffer for the pain of all the living entities in this world, like Prahlad Maharaj prays. And did I miss on any other point? I think I thought of one more, but these are all the symptoms of a pure devotee. Yes, Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. You didn't miss any point, Mataji, but I was thinking, like in one of the points that you mentioned, so you know how in each Upanishad they say that we should take what is given to us. We should only use what the Lord provides to us and not long for more things. I think he's also following that in this scenario. That's what I felt. He's only taking what the Lord has given to us, and he's trying to live with what he has. That's what I felt. One point here, just to attach to the.
Yes, very nice. Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So this is the instruction of the Vedas. Upanishad means it's the Vedas. This is Vedic instruction. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Tena tyaktena bhunjita magrida kasya sviddham. So recognizing who is the actual proprietor of everything, one should only accept that much which is set aside as his quota. So just like human beings, meat, etc. is not human beings' quota. So they only take what is set aside as his quota. Lions and tigers, they take what is their quota. Of course, they don't have this understanding that, who is the proprietor and all that. Still, they follow nature's course. They only take what is set aside as their quota. So human beings, when they don't encroach upon others' property, knowing well to whom it belongs, it doesn't belong to my neighbor or my brother. This belongs to Krishna, the Supreme Lord. And very kindly, he has set aside what I need. I will only take that much. So, of course, this is basic human being, right? If you want to be called a human being, this much is expected from any human being, actually. If we don't even have this much understanding, then we are less than human beings. So a pure devotee is far beyond this. But a pure devotee also follows, right, whatever rules are set in the Vedas, why he will violate. So he won't accept he won't even take what is set aside as his quota. He'll give away everything like Rantidev. He's a king. By inheritance, he got the kingdom. He could have enjoyed it, but he sees, oh, anyone who comes, this is Krishna, right? He's seeing Krishna. This is Krishna means this is part and parcel of Krishna. So Krishna is coming to me in this form. He will give everything to the Lord. Thinking that he's offering to the Lord, he's offering even what is set aside as his quota, that also he's giving away. This is a pure devotee. So he's beyond even that level of, Ishavasyam, idam sarvam, right? Yat kincha jagatyam jagat, tena tyaktena bhunjita. He only takes that much, which is set aside as his quota. He doesn't even keep his quota. And he offers everything to the Lord. He doesn't make any endeavor to earn a livelihood. So yeah, but yes, nice point, Mataji. Thank you.
Mataji, can you please repeat once again 5 points?
The 5 points, okay. So first of all, I'll come this way, according to the verses. So first we heard that Maharaj Rantidev did not endeavor to earn his livelihood. He simply accepted whatever came of its natural accord. That's one thing. So he didn't make any endeavor to earn his livelihood separately. A pure devotee, jnana karmadhyana avritam, right? He does no jnana or no karma also. So he didn't work, he didn't do anything to earn his livelihood. Completely dependent on the Supreme Lord. 1 point. Then the next point is, anyone who came to his house, he saw the Supreme Lord in every living entity. He's seeing the Supreme Lord in every living entity. Therefore, whatever they asked, he would offer as if he's offering to the Supreme Lord. This is the sign of a Mahabhagavat. This is the sign of a Mahabhagavat. He sees his Ishta Dev, Ishta form, right? So someone's Ishta form can be Lord Narasimhadev, someone's Ishta form can be Krishna, someone's Ishta form can be Lord Ramchandra, Supreme Lord. So a pure devotee, a Mahabhagavat devotee, sees his Ishta form not only in every living entity, he even sees in every inanimate object also. Example is, of course, you asked for the points. Again, I am remembering some other examples, but let me just list the points first. So he's seeing the Supreme Lord in his Lord he is seeing in every living entity. Second point. Third point is, he relates to the pain of others. So when he sees others suffering, he cannot tolerate that pain. Why? He sees others' pain as his pain. When someone else is suffering, he can understand how much he would suffer. When he is going through that pain, how painful it is. Therefore, any living entity is going through any suffering, he cannot tolerate it. To what extent? He prays to the Lord, let them all be delivered, let them all become free from all this suffering. And if you think that their suffering, you cannot just square off the suffering, someone has to suffer. I will suffer. Deliver all of them, but I will suffer on their behalf. So this is what he was praying, right? After giving water or before giving water to the Chandala, he was praying, I don't desire. That's one. Third point. This third point is he cannot bear to see the suffering of others. Fourth point, so I remember the other point. Fourth point is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. He has no other desire save and except pleasing the Supreme Lord. So he is not desiring, I don't want mystic yoga siddhis. I don't want liberation also. Then what do I want? I want to see all these suffering souls delivered. I want to live here in this world amongst these suffering souls. And let them all be delivered. I want to help them be delivered. And I will take all their suffering. So this is why it is Anyabhilashita Sunyam, wanting to suffer for others. How is this pleasing Krishna, you may say? Okay, he doesn't want mystic yogi, mystic siddhis. He doesn't want liberation. But he's not saying, I want to please Krishna. He's saying, I want to suffer for others. How is this Krishna consciousness? How is this pleasing to Krishna, you may say? Because love of Godhead, when it matures, it turns into compassion. So this compassion for all living entities is actually a sign of advanced stage of love of Godhead. And what is love of Godhead? Love of Godhead means I will enjoy Krishna. No. Love of Godhead means you simply want to please the Supreme Lord. Your happiness is to see the Lord enjoying. That's all. And a mature form of that love is compassion to the suffering souls. So by seeing his compassion to the extent that he's willing to stay back here eternally and suffer, by taking the karma of all the living entities so that they can be delivered, such compassion, this shows that he's a pure devotee. So that's another point. So this was the fourth point, that Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. He doesn't have any other desire save and except pleasing Krishna. And the fifth point, at all times, fifth point, actually 6 points are there. Fifth point is Ananya. He doesn't look at anyone else. His only object of service is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How do you know? When the demigods came, he offered his obeisances to them, but he had nothing to ask from them. No one else. His Lord is only his master. And even from his master, he doesn't ask anything. He only wants to please him. So fifth point is, he's only focused on the Supreme Lord, not on anyone else. And the sixth point is, he's constantly, at all times, he's focused on the Supreme Lord. That means continuously. It's not broken. Because he's so attached to the Supreme Lord at all times, he's always, so that means it's unbroken, right? Continuous. Jnana Karmadhyanavritam. So we got 6 points. To show that Maharaj Rantidev was actually a Mahabhagavad devotee, a pure devotee. Okay, Mataji, you have?
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much.
The
fifth point and the fourth point is close, right? He sees only the Lord, like Anya Vilashita Shunyam.
Fifth point is not looking to anyone else.
Yeah.
Ananya, right? Not looking towards anyone else, but only to the Lord.
Only to the Lord.
Yeah, not to anyone else, not to the demigods, not to anyone else, but only he is only looking at the Supreme Lord. And the fourth point was, what did you write?
Fourth point is he sees only the Lord, that you explained as Anya Vilashita Shunyam, that he is compassionate his compassion for all living entities.
Yes. So the fourth point is he has no other desire save and except pleasing the Lord.
Okay.
That means he has no material desire, no desire for liberation, no desire for mystic siddhis, no other desire. His only desire is to serve the Lord. How do you know? Because he's willing to suffer in this world eternally. But he's saying, my Lord, my only prayer is I want to stay here in this world and suffer for all living entities so that they can be delivered. I don't want mukti, I don't want siddhis. This is anya abhilashita shunyam. That means any other desire is zero. So his no desire for himself, one thing. Fifth point is he's not looking at anyone else as his object of worship. Not like little bit of Durga ji also, little bit of Shivji and little bit of Krishna or lot of Krishna worship, but some Durga worship, some Ganesh worship. No. 100% only Krishna worship. So his object, his meditation is Ekeha Kurunandana, not deviated here and there. His object of worship is only his Lord. He has nothing to ask from anyone else. That is fifth point. Fourth point is even from his Lord, he does not want any material result. He does not want any liberation. He simply wants to please the Lord. You see the distinction, 4 and 5?
Yeah.
So
Thank you,
now in this,
Mataji.
you're welcome. So now in this verse, that's why it is said he's a pure devotee. How he's a pure devotee from these past verses we see. O Maharaj Parikshit, because King Rantidev was a pure devotee, always Krishna conscious and free from all material desires. So these points are already covered, right? Always Krishna conscious is clearly said here. And how it is so is already proved because he's always meditating on the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So always Krishna conscious, free from all material desires also we saw, right? He didn't want siddhis, he didn't want like that. Free from all material desires. The Lord's illusory energy Maya could not exhibit herself before him. See, if you don't have material desires, then Maya has no control on you. And of course, no desire for liberation also. No desire for no material desires and even no desire for liberation also. Because Prabhupada says, wanting to become one with the Lord is the last snare of Maya. Right? So what do you mean by especially Sayujya Mukti? Sayujya Mukti means you become one, you go and merge into the Supreme. And liberation, it is liberation, but still that idea of wanting to become one with the Lord, that is also Maya. It's the last snare of Maya. So one who is free from material desires, then just like if you have never done any crime, right? You don't have any intentions of any crime and you have never committed any crime. Do you have to fear cops? You don't have to fear cops. Of course, if they are not corrupt. Kali Yuga, everything can be topsy-turvy. But what do you say? With the condition that the cops are not corrupt, right? Then if you are clean, if you have not committed any crime, then you don't have to fear the cops. You have no fear. You can freely walk, right? You follow your speed limits properly and you stay within your lane when you're driving. You don't have fear of the traffic police. But somebody who's breaking the laws, he's always fearful and the cops are also looking for him. Similarly, Maya has her control on those who have material desires. If somebody is free from material desires, they don't have to fear Maya because Maya has no control on them. And Rantidev was a pure devotee. He was free from all material desires. So the Lord's illusory energy Maya could not exhibit herself before him. On the contrary, For him, Maya entirely vanished, exactly like a dream. Maya vanished. She didn't even exist. So often you hear, for a pure devotee, there is no material world. You heard that, right? How is that so? Because for him, nothing is separate from the Lord. He's seeing the Lord everywhere. He's Krishna conscious. He sees everything as the Lord's energy meant for the Lord's service, meant for the Lord's enjoyment. He doesn't see anything as an object of his enjoyment. What is material consciousness? Material consciousness is I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer, I am the master. This is material consciousness. But someone who has no material desire, why he will think he is the proprietor? Why he will think he is the enjoyer of some material things? He is free from all this. So for him there is no material world. Because material world means when you Krishna bhuliya jeev bhogavancha kore. Right? One who turns away from the Supreme Lord, for him there is material world. When he turns away from the Supreme Lord, for him, it's just like, you turn away from the sun, then it's darkness, shadow. So material world exists for that person who has turned away from reality. He's thinking he is the enjoyer. He has so many material desires based on that. I am the enjoyer. I am the proprietor. For him, there is material world. For someone who is always in the consciousness that I am a servant of the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, right? He is the proprietor of everything. He is the enjoyer of everything. Everything and everyone is meant for his service. When someone has realized this, when he is in this consciousness, then he only sees the Supreme Lord everywhere. He sees everything as meant to be offered to the Supreme Lord. For him, there is no material energy. It vanishes. That is Rantidev's situation. O Maharaj Parikshit, because King Rantidev was a pure devotee, always Krishna conscious and free from all material desires, the Lord's illusory energy Maya could not exhibit herself before him. On the contrary, for him, Maya entirely vanished, exactly like a dream. Just like when you wake up in the morning, what happens? The dream is gone, right? The dream is gone. However realistic it may appear in dream, but once you wake up, the dream is gone. It's vanished. Like that, Maya vanishes. That which appears to be like when you're in bodily consciousness, you think this is my body, this is my family, this is my home, this is my country, so on and so forth. But when you become Krishna conscious, all this bodily consciousness vanishes. There is no more material identity, no more Maya acting on you. Just like when you wake up, the dream vanishes like that. Okay, purport. So, who read just now? Neelamri Radha Mataji read, right?
Yes,
So,
Mataji, I read the translation.
Thank you. So, Priyanka Haripriya Mataji, if you are able to read purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry,
Yes,
I by mistake logged out.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Okay. As it is said, Krishna Jahan Krishna, tahan nahi Maya, Mayara Adhikar. Just as there is no chance that darkness can exist in the sunshine, in a pure Krishna conscious person, there can be no existence of Maya. The Lord Himself says in Bhagavad Gita 7.1, Devi Hesha Gunamai, Mama Maya Durataya, Mam Ev Ye Prapadyante, Mayam Etam Tarantite. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. If one wants to be free from the influence of Maya, the illusory energy, one must become Krishna conscious and always keep Krishna prominent within the core of his heart. In Bhagavad Gita 9.34, the Lord advises that one always think of him. Manmana bhav madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. In this way, by always being Krishna minded or Krishna conscious, one can surpass the influence of Maya. Mayam etam taranti te. Because Rantideva was Krishna conscious, he was not under the influence of the illusory energy. The word swapnavat is significant in this connection because in the material world, the mind is absorbed in materialistic activities. When one is asleep, many contradictory activities appear in one's dreams. When one awakens, however, these activities automatically merge into the mind. Similarly, as long as one is under the influence of the material energy, he makes many plans and schemes. But when one is Krishna conscious, such dreamlike plans automatically disappear.
Yes. So, yeah, we discussed all this already. So, Rantidev was a pure devotee, so Maya could not act on him. Maya disappeared, just like sun and darkness. Krishna Surya Sama Maya hoy andhakar. Krishna is like sun, Maya is like darkness. Jaha Krishna, taha nahi, Maya adhikar. Where there is sun, there cannot be darkness. So when you become Krishna conscious means the son of Krishna has awakened in your heart, right? So how can in your heart when there is sun, how can there be darkness? There cannot be. So there cannot be any Maya. There's no Maya adhikar. There's no Maya adhikar. Maya has no control there where Krishna is present. That's why we have to be Krishna conscious. So also it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Daivi yesha gunamayi mama maya Maya is very difficult to overcome. Mamevaya prapadyante maya metam tarantite. But anyone who surrenders, right? It says surrenders to Krishna. Then for him, crossing Maya becomes, he can cross over Maya. He can become free from the influence of Maya by surrendering to Krishna. Same thing. Krishna is sun means when will that son of Krishna awaken in the heart? When we surrender to Krishna. When we surrender to Krishna. What is surrender? Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja. Right? You give up your faith in everything else and take full shelter of Krishna. This is surrender. When one surrenders to Krishna like this, Maya has no control on him. But if you don't surrender to Krishna, there is no way that you can become free from Maya. Okay. Then also, how to keep Krishna, the son of Krishna in the heart. Then, manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. By this is the way. Always think of Krishna. Worship Krishna. Offer obeisances to Krishna. Become a devotee of Krishna. So be always Krishna minded or Krishna conscious. I was just thinking as Mataji was reading this that the procedure is already there, right? We know what we are supposed to do. Again and again we will hear. The theory is there, but those who apply it, they will see the result, isn't it? Even I can be just speaking and speaking and speaking over and over again. But whatever I have spoken, when I apply it in my life, then I will see the result. But if I simply speak about it and if I don't apply it, then it will just remain theory, right? It will be theory. It won't be a realization. So if I want realization, then that has to be applied, practiced. Think of Krishna all the time. Apply that. And in a simple way, Srila Prabhupada said, thinking of Krishna means you chant Hare Krishna. Because by that chanting, it's thinking. At least at our stage. We cannot do Smaranam yet. But if you chant Hare Krishna, then that connection is there. And those who practice it sincerely, they will see the result. And when we don't practice it, we won't see the result. Years and years will be passing by, still we won't see the result. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Mataji, one question that sometimes when we are having something back of our mind and when we fall asleep, just before waking up, you know, we get a solution. Even this happens when we are chanting. Although we are not thinking about that, that solution comes to mind. Is it is this craziness like Prabhupada's incident? I'm saying one person said that, oh, I'm seeing light. Prabhupada said, keep chanting, it will go away. Is it like that? Is it like that?
Depends on what it is, right? Because one person, one devotee said, Prabhupada, I saw you in my dream last night. I said, Prabhupada said, oh, and? And he said, you told me to smoke marijuana or something. And Prabhupada said, that was not me, that was a ghost. So this devotee saw Srila Prabhupada in his dream, but in his dream, Srila Prabhupada is saying, you smoke ganja or smoke marijuana. So, and when the devotee said this to Prabhupada, that was not me. That was not me. So it depends on what inspiration you're getting. If you're getting some inspiration about some materialistic thing, then don't take it that this is an inspiration coming from the Lord. But if that inspiration, like you said, when you're chanting, you get some solution, and if that solution is actually bringing you closer uh, to Krishna consciousness, yes, accept it. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. I give him the intelligence. Yenamam payantite. By him he can come to me. I am giving the intelligence. So if the solution you're getting is bringing you closer to Krishna, okay, this is coming from Krishna, take it like that. But if it is taking you away from Krishna and if it is just some material thing, then forget it. Like Srila Prabhupada said, keep chanting, it will go away.
Yeah, it's probably it's about the material solution. Like what I'm thinking, maybe because the mind becomes calm and then the solution comes. Because generally, when we are awake or when we are having too many problems or things in our mind, then we don't find solutions. So when we are asleep, probably the mind becomes calm and then the solution comes.
Actually, I met one devotee who said that whenever I'm in a lot of stress, like I'm very disturbed, then I just fall asleep because my body and my mind probably cannot take that stress anymore. So first of all, it's stress, and then because of that stress, I become very sad, and then the next thing is I fall asleep and I go into deep sleep, and then once I wake up, I become peaceful. I'm not as stressful as before. Because of that sleep, the stress level is reduced. So, being in deep sleep, you know. So, let's read the purport. Here also in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says in the last section, because in the material world, the mind is absorbed in materialistic activities. Yes, mind is absorbed in materialistic activities. When one is asleep, many contradictory activities appear in one's dreams. Okay, contradictory means materialistic because it is not in line with our true nature, true self. So you get contradictory, it appears like, so that means so called solutions that are appearing, they may be contradictory too, depending on what the meditation is when you're awake. If you're absorbed in materialistic activities or not in Krishna consciousness during the day, then during the day or when you're awake, when you sleep, you get some things, right? And they can be contradictory activities owing to materialistic absorption when you're awake. So, this is the condition of sleep. Sleep means ignorance. Sleep means ignorance. Actually, even in the conditioned state, being awake is also ignorance only. That's why Srila Prabhupada says daydream and night dream. When you sleep in the night, those dreams are night dreams. And then when you're awake, this is another dream. Because this is not your true self, right? Your identity in this world, right? all these things. This is another dream, night dream and daydream. So what is real awakening? Real awakening is awakening to Krishna consciousness. So anyway, here Srila Prabhupada is saying, because in the material world, the mind is absorbed in materialistic activities. When one is asleep, many contradictory activities appear in one's dreams. When one awakens, however, these activities automatically merge into the mind. They merge into the mind. Contradictory activities merge into the mind. That means you don't see them anymore, right? Like, as I said, like when the person awakens, he kind of becomes peaceful. All that stress is gone away after sleeping, and then he wakes up. It all merges into the mind. So as you said, because nothing else is happening, it's relaxed. Like active interaction with sense objects is not happening, right? When you're sleeping, it's the samskaras, the impressions that are there after you interact with sense objects. You means the senses. When the senses interact with sense objects, impressions are created on the mind. So when you sleep, those impressions are there. Those impressions are there. But that direct interaction is not happening. Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Nilamari Radha Mataji. So that interaction is not there. Direct interaction is not there. So therefore, it appears like it is peaceful. It's not so agitated anymore. Nevertheless, your impressions are from materialistic activities. So even in the dreams that you see, you'll see only those materialistic things. But when you wake up, because for that much time now you have not been, your senses have not been interacting with the sense objects. So it appears like the problem, it's like again, those who take intoxication. It's not that the problem is gone away, but you numb your mind, right, by taking intoxication. That's deep ignorance, intoxication. But by that you feel like now you don't feel any pains, right? So you take intoxication, but the problem doesn't go away. It comes back later on. But it's a different thing when you're chanting and you get some solutions, and that's a whole different story. There also you have to check if it is helping you in Krishna consciousness, very good. Then take it as coming from Krishna. But if it is guiding you, to do things which are against Krishna consciousness, then that's not coming from Krishna. Okay.
Yes, Mataji. But well, I'm not saying I'm a devotee, but I'm saying generally in devotee's life, although we are doing materialistic activity because we are in family life, we have to send our kids to school, take them and get involved in their school activities too, in spite of not wanting it. I know these are not direct Krishna consciousness, but still I have to take care of Krishna's devotee, right? I mean, Krishna has sent them, so that's
Yeah, so that's why I said if you are Krishna conscious, if that is your motivation, then Krishna is helping you.
I like to think that. Otherwise, it's the other thing which Prabhupada said.
Also, Mataji, the philosophy is also this, that bhakti is capable of giving the results of all activities. So when you are chanting Hare Krishna, see, one is to do devotional service without any desires, Anyabhilashita Shunyam, right? You are only chanting to please Krishna. Not that actually. Anyabhilashita Shunyam is there, but Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. Someone is not doing any Jnana or any Karma. That is pure devotional service. But in our case, we still have some Shraddha in Karma, just like you said, I have to send my kids to school, and so on and so forth. So that's some Karma we are doing. But still, you're doing Anukulyana Krishnanushilanam. What is that? Chanting Hare Krishna, worshipping the deity. You're doing bhakti. Direct devotional service you're doing. May not be 24 hours, but for some hours every day, certainly you're doing bhakti. Anukulyana Krishnanushilanam you're doing. Now by doing bhakti, if somebody is not that he's thinking by this bhakti I want this result. It may not be so clear, it may not be like that, but you're still maintaining, you have some desires in your heart which are not exactly pure desires, right? Pure desire would be like Rantidev Maharaj, only pleasing Krishna, no other desire. So we are not there. So we have other desires also. Oh, my kids should be healthy. My kids should get good grades in school. They should have, a secure, life. They should be able to function in society well, so on and so forth. We may have such desires, which is not directly direct devotional service. Nevertheless, you're also doing some direct devotional service. You're doing bhakti. By that bhakti, you can get material desires also fulfilled. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So, even if you're full of material desires, if you do bhakti, of course, tivra bhakti, that's again ananya bhakti, then everything can be achieved. Everything can be achieved. But even those who are not devotees, those who are typical karmis, their only goal in life is to get material sense gratification. But to get that material sense gratification, they do little bit of bhakti in order to get. The point is, by doing bhakti, you get all results. You get material results, you get liberation, and if you do pure devotional service, you can get the highest result, love of Godhead. So, if you are getting some material results, which devotees are getting, we cannot deny that. We are getting material results also. Ever since we've come to bhakti, we will see materially also we will be getting results. So, is that coming from bhakti? Is that your question? Yes, it is coming from bhakti. It is coming from bhakti. The things that we get material, and those material results which we get after doing bhakti, those results are actually auspicious. They are not inauspicious. Even though they are material results, but they are not inauspicious. Why inauspicious? Like this Hiranyakashipu also got material results, but he didn't do bhakti. He worshipped some demigod and he got material result. That result was inauspicious for him, to him, because as a result of that result, right, as a consequence of that result, which is he became the Lord of the universe, he got killed. He was destroyed by the Supreme Lord. So, but like Dhruva Maharaj, by doing bhakti, he got the kingdom and so on and so forth. But that kingdom was not inauspicious to him because that material result he got by doing bhakti. So, yes, even though we get material results, are they coming by bhakti? Yes, they're coming from bhakti. Auspicious results, they're coming from bhakti. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Even though we may not be pure devotees, don't worry. Krishna is very kind.
I was thinking in the material proverb also it says no that sleep on it. I mean people say for any big decision.
Dham, yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
You
You simply lay down, sleep in Dham, in Mayapur or in
No,
Jagannath
not
Puri.
with the dham. I'm saying material. It's a saying, no, in English that sleep on it. They say.
Acha, acha.
So they because for any big decision, like just think over. That's what they say. So
And then the result comes on its own. You're saying
no, that's
let,
not. I mean, the purpose of it is. I mean, don't take any rash decision.
right.
Just sleep on it. Just wait, think over. That's the point. So I was thinking because the mind calms down, and then I don't want to waste my bhakti for these material results, Mataji. Seriously, that's a waste.
You are headed towards Ananya Bhakti.
I hope
Very
so.
good. Okay. So let's, it's 5:30 already, but let's read Bhagavad Gita. So we completed this verse. When one awakens, however, these activities automatically merge into the mind. So Similarly, as long as one is under the influence of the material energy, he makes many plans and schemes. But when one is Krishna conscious, such dreamlike plans automatically disappear. It may be true, as Mataji said, that materially it works, that you are relaxed, your mind is peaceful, and then you can think properly. That may be true, but yeah, that is still material. That is still material, because mind means it is material only. Mental platform is material only. You may get some solutions, but nevertheless, yeah, don't take rash decisions. It's always good to think about, right? Think twice before you say something, they say, like that. So that's a side point. So now let's read Bhagavad Gita. So here the main point in this purport is, uh, yes, Maya has no influence on a pure devotee, because pure devotee has no material desires. And the analogy that for him the material Maya just vanishes for him. So the analogy is like when you wake up from sleep, the dream just vanishes. Like that, when one becomes Krishna conscious, Maya ceases to exist for him. That's the analogy. So tomorrow we'll do the next verse, and Priyanka Mataji read today. So tomorrow will be Saujanya Mataji and Pragnya. Okay, Saujanya Mataji or Pragnya will read tomorrow. Let's read Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 1, text 43. Please repeat. Utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati tyanushruma. Yes, translation. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. So that's Arjun's conclusion. I should not kill my father, grandfather, my grandfather, my teacher, and all these elder members, because if the elder members are killed, then there won't be any dharma in the family, because nobody is there to teach them. And then by that, women are polluted. From this adulteration, the children that are born, there will be unwanted population, Varna Sankara, and because of this Varna Sankara, the family will go to hell, the ancestors will go to hell, and those people who created this situation by killing the elder members, they will also go to hell. Besides that, those who are living in this world, the whole society will suffer, because this Varna Sankara will not do. First of all, they won't offer any pinda to the forefathers, so the forefathers will fall down. And in this world also, they won't do any community projects, family welfare activities. The whole society will be ruined. So, and I'm not just saying this on my own, I heard it by disciplic succession, that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. Right? These family members today who are still living, they will also go to hell, because there's no family traditions, no dharma being followed. They will all go to hell. Ancestors will go to hell. The people who created this situation will go to hell, and the people who are living here, they will live in hell, because there won't be any community projects. Why we have to do all this? This is Arjun's point. Purport. Arjun bases his argument not on his own personal experience, but on what he has heard from authorities. That is the way of receiving real knowledge. One cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is already established in this knowledge. So this is our way of getting knowledge. Always. Always. We don't depend on our speculation, on our IQ, intelligence, right, to understand things. That's not the way. We need help from those who know it. And this is, if you see, traditionally, this is the system. When you want to cook, you learn from your mother or from your grandmother or some other person who has been cooking. You need a guru, you need someone to teach you, help you, and then you learn that, and then you do it in any field. You go and work in the bank. Before you start working, someone who has been working in that field will come and train you how to do that activity, and then you will carry it on. You work as a software professional, same way. First, you get trained. So, like that. So, the way to get knowledge is through disciplic succession by hearing from authorities. That's the point. That is the way of receiving knowledge, not by speculation. That all of a sudden I get some, enlightenment and now I know what it is. That's not the way. One cannot, of course, realizations also will come, but first you have to hear. Based on that, then you can compare the the realizations that I get. Are they matching with what I heard? Like that. So one cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnashram institution by which, before death, one has to undergo the process of atonement for his sinful activities. Right? Karmakanda, you have to do prayashchit. One who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called prayashchitta. Without doing so, one surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities. Okay, so Arjun is saying we will all go to hell because of this sinful activities. Why should we even commit this sin? So Srila Prabhupada is further explaining that in Varnashram system, therefore there is this prayashchitta system, because everyone knowingly or unknowingly commits sinful activities. 5 types of sins are committed by everyone. Just like you keep water in a water pot, and so many insects, they get killed under the pot. There will be insects. When you sweep, so many small micro germs or insects, they get swept off. When you cook in the fire also, so many living entities get killed. Like this, there are 5 uh, situations. When you walk, you step on them, right? Like this. So unknowingly also you're committing so many sins. So therefore prayashchitta is essential for everyone. That is, if you have not taken to bhakti, then in the varnashram system, prayashchitta is essential. Before giving up one's life, they have to do atonement for whatever sins they have committed. Even in Vaishnavas, actually, right? Before leaving their bodies, you see, almost all Vaishnavas, they beg for forgiveness from everyone. If I have committed any offenses, please forgive me. It's not exactly atonement, but knowingly, unknowingly, we may have, hurt someone. So begging for forgiveness is essential. But here talking about sins, prayashchitta is done. So Arjun is saying, why should we even commit these sinful activities knowingly? That is his point. What is that sin? Killing the elder members. If I fought this battle, then I will have to kill the elder members. That's his point. Okay, then let's quickly read a little bit of Leelamrita, and then I will let you all go.
Mataji, one example can we say about Dronacharya's son? What's his name? I forgot.
Ashwatthama.
Ashwatthama, yeah. Ashwatthama is, of course, he was cursed, but he's also doing his prayashchitta for the sin which he did, and then later on he will become Manu, or what is he is predicted? Manu, right?
He will start the next, I'm not sure, Manu or he will start
Indra or Manu, something, no? He is
something. Yeah, I forget also. I don't remember. But yeah, he will start the next yuga, right? He'll be the first person from whom, the generation will start. Yeah, I can refer to it and tell you. I don't remember right now.
So he is
But-
also doing Prashchitta and like atonement for his
But
sins.
that is forced
That's
in the form of
cursed.
a
Yeah,
curse.
Hare Krishna,
But
yes.
here, Varnashram system is voluntarily you take it up. So that's the difference. But
Okay.
yeah, whenever there is suffering, there is, of course, that clearance is happening. Whether it comes as punishment or you do it voluntarily, in both cases, when you undergo suffering, suffering means purification. It's clearing you of your, baggage.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Sure. So Srila Prabhupada's Leela Amrita. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, even if it's not one person's job, this preaching, but still, Srila Prabhupada went on, and even though he was alone, he did whatever he could, depending on Krishna. Almost all of Prabhupada's Bauri friends were musicians or friends of musicians, and they were all hippies. They were into music, drugs, women, and spiritual meditation. Because Prabhupada's presentation of the Hare Krishna mantra was both musical and meditative, they were automatically interested. Prabhupada stressed that all the Vedic mantras or hymns were sung. In fact, the words Bhagavad Gita meant the song of God. But the words of the Vedic hymns were incarnations of God. The words themselves were incarnations of God in the form of transcendental sound. The musical accompaniment of hand cymbals, drum, and harmonium, the musical accompaniment was just that, it was just an accompaniment. But real power is the words. They were the incarnations of God. So the musical accompaniment had no spiritual purpose independent of the chanting of the name of God. This is very important. Once, someone made a audio cassette tape of various bhajans, even Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but only musical instruments, no words, right? Let's say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So instead of the mantra, it'll be like some musical instrument in that tune. That's not bona fide. It's not bona fide. Because the power is not in the melody, the power is in the word. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can chant in japa, you can chant in kirtan, you can chant with musical instruments accompanied. But that mantra has to be there, not simply the melody. Okay, so this was actually once one devotee was listening and one senior Prabhupada disciple corrected that devotee. That's how I remember. Okay, so the musical accompaniment of hand cymbals, drum, and harmonium was just that, just an accompaniment, and had no spiritual purpose independent of the chanting of the name of God. Prabhupada allowed any instrument to be used as long as it did not detract from the chanting. So we'll stop here. Continue tomorrow. I know we're reading very little, but
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Limited time. Hare Krishna. Thank you. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.